What's going on, everybody out there? And today I'm going to be doing a slightly different video than my normal top 10s or Pokemon theories. Today I wanted to have a discussion with all of you guys out there about a possible FireRed and LeafGreen 3DS remake. If you're unaware, I've actually speculated that we'll be getting remakes of these games for the 3DS sometime in the future. This year might be too soon, but I could see them doing it sometime in 2016 to coincide with the 20th anniversary of the original game's release. This discussion was actually brought on by one of the commenters in one of my videos. Shout out to Josh Ford, who wanted to see a video with people's thoughts on if a FireRed and LeafGreen 3DS remake could happen in 2016 and some of the possible changes that could be in them. I thought that sounded like a great idea, so this video will be me discussing my thoughts on a Kanto game remake and cool things they could implement into it. So I'll start with discussing if the theoretical remakes could be out in 2016. For what it's worth, I do think that there is a high chance we'll get them in 2016. That's the 20th anniversary for the original games, and as we've seen countless times, Game Freak loves to celebrate the first generation of the franchise. I also think it's possible that they'll wait until Generation 7 comes out, so that they only have one remake per generation. I guess it's possible that they could have more than one remakes per generation, but I feel like they probably won't do that because that would be overcrowding the generation with remakes, and it would take the spotlight away from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It's possible, but I just don't think it's very likely. Enough about dates and date speculation though, right? The best part about speculating for a new Pokemon game is thinking about all of the cool things that might be changed or added into it. One benefit to remaking Kanto now is being able to use the X and Y engine. While it does have some small issues with it, and I've never been crazy about how the overworld looks, there's no denying that seeing Kanto remade in true 3D graphics would be amazing. One thing I've seen a lot of people talk about and want Game Freak to add in is being able to get more Pokemon in the base game, along with being able to catch Mew legitly. I think that adding in other Pokemon to the Kanto region would be a great idea, and making Mew finally accessible is something that fans have wanted since Gen 1. Besides the improvement to graphics and more Pokemon, I feel like this would be a great opportunity to add in content from other games to the Kanto region. I think that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had a great assortment of new features that will lend themselves well to Kanto. The PokeNav Plus might be one of my most wanted features in a remade Kanto game. I think that this device should be a standard in every Pokemon game. It was incredibly useful and had amazing features. While I might not have used every feature a lot, it was great to be able to seamlessly go into an online trade or go to Pokemon and Me whenever I wanted. Another thing I would like to return from Oros is secret bases and contest halls. While I didn't care for contest halls at all, it was nice that there was always a sort of side quest in them that you could complete at your leisure. I probably wouldn't use the contest halls that much if they were in, but for people that enjoy contests, it would be a dream come true. I think secret bases are another one of Oros' greatest additions, and I feel like leaving them out from future games is such a loss. Being able to customize them to suit your style, and being able to search the region for your friend's secret bases and battling them is something that makes the world feel 10 times more alive than previous games. I didn't use secret bases in the original games, but with the addition of online to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it made secret bases much easier to use and discover. Is it possible that any of these features will make it into a FireRed and LeafGreen remake? Honestly, I don't think there's a big chance for it. Game Freak has always had a very strange and backwards philosophy for why they remove features in Pokemon games. When pressed why they removed trainer customization from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Junichi Masuda said that it was to make Kalos have its own unique identity. This explains why lots of beloved features of the franchise have been removed from subsequent games over the years. Things like Pokemon following you from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or Seasons in Black and White. I can kind of see where they're coming from with wanting each game to feel unique, but it's so strange to not include such a great feature that they could easily implement into a game. Because of Masuda's comments, I think it's very unlikely that we'll see secret bases, contests, the DexNav Plus, or even soaring in future Pokemon games. It's kind of possible, but due to his comments, I think it's very, very unlikely. One possible addition that I think is actually very likely is them adding Mega Evolutions into the regular gameplay and story. Gen 1 Pokemon have so many Megas already that they could easily incorporate Mega Stones into the story. I also think it's pretty likely that if the story is the same as in the games, that you would fight your rival and you would both use Megas at the end of the game. Speaking of stories, one awesome idea I've seen floating around for these theoretical remakes is to make them sequels instead. Something like FireRed 2 and LeafGreen 2. While it can be argued that because Heart Gold and Soul Silver had Kanto in them, that they're essentially a FireRed and LeafGreen 2, I think the actual legitimate sequels, set 5 or so years after Heart Gold and Soul Silver, would be pretty neat if done right. I'm not going to lie, I still have a little bit of nostalgia for Gen 1. One of the coolest things about the Generation 2 games for me was traveling back to Kanto and seeing how all of it had changed. Imagine a full game about a future Kanto, with even more changes and progression. Seeing Cinnabar Island being rebuilt after the volcano erupted, or even seeing what has become of other towns like Lavender Town or Pallet Town would be neat to see. Perhaps Professor Oak has retired, and a new professor has taken his place. Maybe Red has finally returned and taken his rightful spot as champion. Just thinking about all of these new ideas they could implement in a sequel game rather than a remake has me super excited. Unfortunately, I don't think sequel games will happen. Game Freak generally doesn't try many new ideas when making remake games, so I doubt they would branch off and make a sequel to an older game instead. Which is kind of a shame, because while I generally like Pokemon remakes okay, they do feel like the same old adventure that we've played a bunch of times. Taking inspiration from the first generation, while telling a brand new story in it, would be familiar while a giant breath of fresh air. It would be similar to the first games, but just different enough to make people want to buy it for a new experience. Anyways, those are just some of the ideas I have about potential Kanto remakes / sequels. I'd love to hear what all of you people out there would think of getting a potential Kanto remake for the 3DS, or even a Kanto sequel for the 3DS. What kind of ideas and features would you like to see in a 3DS Kanto game? Feel free to comment with your ideas and opinions below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.